Hopefully your day starting off in a very positive manner. Well, we have an organization here in town that we are so proud of, American Heart Association here in Iowa, celebrating a big anniversary last week, Jackie, and they got a special event coming up.
Yeah, things are still happening, just in a more virtual format. So very excited to have Kathy Salisbury, the Go Red for Women Director with the American Heart Association of Iowa, joining us this morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, let's first talk about a huge milestone and accomplishment that was done last week. What were you guys celebrating?
Yes, last week, the American Heart Association celebrated their 96th anniversary. Our Founders Day was in 1924 when 6 cardiologists came together in Chicago and decided that they needed to really organize their research and all the efforts that were going towards cardiovascular disease knowledge. So we're really proud of the association for being around for 96 years. Pretty much all of the major accomplishments that have happened in cardiovascular disease are because of the American Heart Association.
Wow, and heart health obviously so very important. And people are talking about it more openly now, which is really good news, isn't it?
Yes, they are. Right now with the COVID-19 epidemic going on, people who suffer from cardiovascular disease are actually suffering more than other individuals. So it's really important that the association looks at those patients, and we're diverting a lot of research money into COVID-19 research to help find cures and to help treat those patients who are vulnerable, who have cardiovascular disease and stroke.
Yeah, those underlying health issues that we always hear about.
Yeah, that's the underlying health issues. The majority of the time, that's what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're happy to hear that those resources and that education is there. But we also want to talk about events, because no matter what is happening in this world these days, we want to continue on and forge on with some fabulous events. So let's talk about what's coming up in just a couple of days.
Okay, wonderful. Well, in a couple of days, we are going to have our first virtual Go Red for Women event. It's going to be in Story County, but of course, since it's virtual, anybody can join. And it's going to be a happy hour, the 18th at 4 p.m. And it's going to be a great event. We're going to talk a lot about cardiovascular disease in women. We're going to talk about some of the accomplishments the Heart Association has done in terms of treating women and what's going on locally. So it's going to be really exciting. We'll have some great guests, have some surprises. And we also have a silent auction that is going on right now. So there's some exciting things that people can bid on that will all raise money for the Go Red for Women movement.
Kathy, I think you said it perfectly, and something that is still being brought to my attention as I've been a part of various virtual events now, because it's the new normal that we live in, is that it does open the door so many more people can be involved in these events, because it's as easy as, clicking a button on your computer and you're instantly taken somewhere where you can get knowledge, you can help out an amazing organization, maybe even win something with a silent auction, but we could all be a part of an event where maybe it was limited before. Right,
Kathy, have you noticed that events like this, have you seen yourself that this could be possibly a larger audience than you had a chance to reach the first time?
Oh, absolutely. When we decided as an association to go to virtual meetings, at first we were really worried about it. And this was on a national level, who's going to attend, who wants to be a part of it. But what we're finding is more and more people are joining these events because they can do it from the ease of their home. You can sit there in your pajamas and learn about heart disease and participate in an event that is really inspirational and talk to inspirational women who are fighting heart disease and why they are supporting us. So we're finding that more and more women are actually joining these virtual meetings and events.
Which is wonderful to hear. Now, this is a virtual but absolutely free event, but it's important for people to register in advance. And as you mentioned, there's even some great silent auction items people could be looking at right now. So how do we register, and how does this all work so we can be a part of it in a couple of days?
Okay, the best way to register is to go to our Facebook page, which is American Heart Association Iowa. And then there's an events button that you would click, and then you just register. And it's so simple. And if you want to register for the auction, there's also a link for the auction. So even if you can't make the event, you can still bid on some really fun auction items. My Ames community is really excited about doing this auction every year, and they do what we call personalities. So they buy purses and they fill them with items that reflect their own interests and their own desires, and it's really a fun auction.
Right, and of course the proceeds go to help fund the organization too, and you've really seen some advancements over the recent years too, haven't you?
Oh, we have, absolutely. We have, I can't even name everything, but some of the most recent things, of course, we have hands-only CPR now. All of the devices, the medical devices that we're using to treat cardiovascular disease, the medicines that we use now to treat stroke. And it's really important right now to think about the future, the post-COVID-19 situation. And the Heart Association is really thinking about this because the long-term effects of this disease, and it's not over yet, but the long-term effects are really going to hurt our communities, especially, as I said before, the communities that have social disparities. So a lot of our dollars are going to be funneled into how do we get to those communities? How do we treat them now that they are post-COVID-19? How do we help them so in the future they'll have better health, they'll have less stress in their life? So, we're not only about let's fix your heart right now. In order to fix your heart, we need to change lifestyles. And so that is something that is really important to us, and that's why our funds are so important right now, so that we can continue on after COVID-19 is over.
Absolutely. We need to go another 96 years strong with the American Heart Association. You can do so by being a part of this event and supporting it. Coming up in just a couple of days, on Thursday the 18th, there is the website you need to go to. Heart.org can always get you to the great information that you need. This is specifically with Story County Go Red. So heart.org/Story County Go Red. That's going to give you the ability to register for this free event, but also if you'd like to get in on the bid of some of those silent auction items, we encourage you to do so as well.
Wonderful. Well, we wish you continued success, and thank you so much for visiting with us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me on.
Always great to see you.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Don't forget to throw on your best red, and we'll see you on Thursday.
There you go. Show us your red.
Love it. Yay! Thank you so much. Bye.